looks like he goes to the 43 machine of Jeff DeMent, but Carmichael gets an incredible start around the outside. He's into the lead. Where is Stewart? Here he comes on the 7 in second. That big lead just gets wiped away.
Yeah, this is just what Carmichael needed in that first start. Stewart hole-shotted, he was waving bye-bye. Carmichael needed this to get battle for the main event win here. And
Carmichael has been the fastest rider inside Chase Field all weekend. We'll see now if Stewart can match his pace.
Well, we're all going to get to see the battle that we were hoping would brew here. This way we get 20 laps of it.
These two put on an amazing chase for the championships last year. Carmichael ended up winning the AMA Series title for the 5th time. Stewart laid claim to the World Supercross Championship for the 1st time.
Listen to the sound of those 450s. When the track gets a little slippery like this, a little bit loose on top, these 450s are just amazing machines. So much horsepower.
Chad Reed, by the way, you saw him briefly on the 22, runs in 3rd.
Now let's see if Stewart, who was jumping the quad at the end of this next section, let's see if he changes it up here. Nope, stays to the triple. Watch how fast Stewart goes into this next set of whoops right here, way on the left-hand side.
That front wheel just sky high, barely skimming it across with the rear wheel.
The whoop sections like that is where James Stewart excels over the other riders. He just has the ability to just hang it out, come into those whoops with so much speed.
So many people think that James Stewart rides on the edge at all times. And I asked James, I said, James, how close are you to the edge? And he said, you know what? In fact, you probably have never seen me ride on the edge. Really? He said, yep. He said, I have never ridden to my fullest potential in a Supercross race yet. The way the tracks are designed, I cannot ride at my fastest speed. He has more left in the tank, Jeff, if you can believe that.
And one of the things everybody asks me, how can James Stewart go so fast? Being a former racer myself, what I come up with is that as the rider is looking at the track and he's going through the obstacles, is that no matter how fast James rides, the track seems like he's processing the information and the track is going slow. What he's seeing is going slow, so.
What he's seeing is how he's gonna pass Ricky Carmichael as they come over the finish line jump, side by side.
Gives him a little bit of room there. I think he had the opportunity to maybe rub him a little bit there as they complete the first lap, but they were being real nice to each other, actually.
They always have been. They don't seem to, when they go bar to bar, they don't really push each other physically too hard.
And I think that that's a respect that they have for each other. They realize that that's not going to get them anywhere except going backwards.
It's interesting when you talk to Carmichael, the nickname, the GOAT, greatest of all time, but he will tell you he doesn't consider himself the greatest Supercross rider on the planet. He says he might be the best when it comes to winning championships. He's won 5 of them in Supercross. He's very good, he says, at being consistent over the course of the year. But in specific areas, he says, no way am I the greatest. In fact, he'll tell you, Stewart is the fastest, and a rider like Kevin Windham might be the most technical.
Yes, I definitely agree. This last lap, these guys way off the pace from their best times were in the low 41s, and they're a couple seconds off right now. That just shows that the track's getting very slippery. And,
does that give an edge to either one of these riders? Is either one better when the track gets slippery?
No, I don't think so. We're looking at the 2 greatest Supercross riders on the planet. And right now, it's much better to be where James Stewart is, believe it or not. He gets a chance to pace himself and watch Ricky Carmichael's lines and figure out some places where he can make the pass. It's a nervous position to be up front because you don't know what the guy is doing behind you. You don't know if he's moving around. You don't know if he's letting it all hang out or if he's doing it very easy.
One thing though, Jeff, is it's very difficult to pressure Ricky Carmichael into a mistake.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. He's had plenty of pressure and he deals with it well. I think the 2 sections are going to be the whoops. And I think James Stewart is setting up Carmichael for the 2nd set of whoops. I think he's where we talked about the inside line is left open. Stewart's been making himself a line on the inside each lap.
Here comes Stewart. He's got to pass that time.
Well, he chose the first set.
Stewart takes the lead, and you can hear the crowd at Chase Field cheering loudly as they exchange the lead. Now, can Carmichael mount a challenge back? We talked about how they worked so hard on this Makita Suzuki to get that front end to load better so he can get through the corners better. Does it seem to be working for him?
Well, at first I sure thought so, but Ricky commented that last week that Stewart just seemed to be able to turn the bike lower out of the berms and get going down the straight sooner. And Ricky was driving deeper into the turns, and I think that's happening a little bit again tonight.
James Stewart on the monster Kawasaki out front, leading here in Phoenix, looking to sweep back-to-back weekends, winning at the last round at Phoenix, and now looking to back it up here in Anaheim and Phoenix. Here's a progressive hole shot replay.
And you see Jeff DeMint coming from way on the outside here, staying on the gas, just beating James Stewart to the line with a Progressive Direct Hole Shot Award.
And the pass for the lead was completed like this.
Like I said, Stewart just comes into these whoops so fast. He just entered with so much speed. Carmichael had nothing for him at going into the turn.
Closing in on the halfway point here, Chase Field. James Stewart continues to lead. We'll be right back for more after this. It's the AMA Mobile Supercross Series in action in Chase Field. James Stewart leading on his Kawasaki.
Yeah, this battle for the lead has just been so good. We stayed up there. We're going to get a chance to see some third and fourth right now. I'm sorry, fourth and fifth. Kevin Windham and Ferry.
Best battle on the racetrack. Windham on the red Honda, number 14. Here comes Ferry, Stewart's teammate of the monster Kawasaki team. On the number 15. We talked about how much pressure was on Kevin Windham, and joining that battle, Travis Preston on the red number 11. Here's Ferry. Oh, he tried to get inside, couldn't get it done.
And Michael Byrne with our helmet cam on the Rockstar Suzuki is right at the end of that pack. These guys, you know, I really thought that these guys had a lot to prove tonight, and so far they're battling it out.
Riding with Michael Byrne. Ferry again applying the pressure to Windham. Preston on that number 11 had the factory ride at Kawasaki that Ferry now has.
Look at this section. These guys, some of these jumps here, it's just incredible that they can race each other, battle, you know, wheel to wheel through, you know, what are some pretty tough obstacles and some pretty tough sections.
How much of that has been the improvement of the riders or the motorcycles over the years?
It's just the evolution of the sport, but there is no doubt in my mind that the 450 machines here in the last couple of years have made some huge improvements. They have so much low-end torque, not to mention great horsepower, but the torque allows them to ride the machine at a lower RPM and get more traction on a slippery track like this.
Preston coming around Ferry. Remember, he lost that factory ride just this past winter to Ferry. So a little bit of personal revenge there to get back in front of that green number 15.
Preston so close to the podium last week with a fourth place. Really seems to be comfortable and happy riding for Factory Connection again, which is a team that he had a lot of success with as a lights rider.
I was saying, Preston, it was actually Michael Byrne that lost that ride.
Yes, correct. These guys still pretty close. Look like Ferry and Byrne backed off a little bit there that lap. Couple of Honda riders battling for the Honda supremacy.
I'm sorry, Jeff. It's actually Michael Byrne that's closing in on Ferry now. So that storyline does come back into play as Byrne tries to get around Ferry.